Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode here at O.A.R. And today we're going to be feeding all the reptiles. All of them. Including Poseidon, who you guys don't really get to see eat often. In fact, I don't get to see eat often. Because he's a shy boy. So maybe you'll get to see it, maybe you won't. I don't know. Just a heads up. Some of the lights are out in here. Some have been replaced with ceramic heat emitters because it's the only way to get power to it, because this room is literally draining all the power in my house. We'll have to find a way to fix the circuit breaker later. And Lilith and Gargoyle decided to be impatient bastards and undo all their lights. Oh yeah, by the way, Lilith will not be eating this week. She ate last week, and she's a little chunky, so she goes about every 2 weeks without food. She might get pushed back to 3. She is a full-blown, she's not full-grown, but she's a fully adult female reticulated python. So she doesn't have to eat weekly like some of the younger snakes like ear down here. But let's go ahead and get started on feeding. And we're going to start with Midas. Now, if you watched Tuesday's episode, you know that I recorded this one and Tuesday's video together on the same day. So Midas literally just got this set up. So he might not be inclined to eat right now, but we're going to offer him this rat anyways. Well, we're going to leave it right there. He goes about once every he usually eats about once every 2 weeks, but we'll give it a shot anyways. Next, we're going to move on to a little bit of Ear here. Now, luckily, Ear here is going to be one of the easiest ones to feed because she always eats, and I already know exactly where she is. If you can see, there's a little tiny bit of pink right there. Oh, yep, there she is. The gentlest yank from her ever. This is why I love corn snakes. They just always eat. Same thing with king snake. Speaking of king snakes, let's get down to the beautiful girl herself, Hell. The smaller snakes are definitely making it easy on me today. Wow. Already gone. It hasn't even been a minute. Whoa! I didn't even get a chance to offer it to her or let you guys see her. She just said yoink. King snakes, unlike a lot of snakes, king snakes are not venomous. But unlike a lot of other snakes, they don't constrict if they don't have venom. Instead, they go for lethal headshots. And if this rat was alive, they'd be eating it whole right now. They do it with rattlesnakes, rodents, birds. You could almost call them an assassin because they aim just for the head and just whoosh, and they don't let go. In fact, a lot of snakes, their teeth are curved backwards like this, so it hooks in, kind of like when you're going fishing. So it makes it harder for you to pull away if you've been caught by one of these guys without seriously injuring yourself just for the chance to survive. Crazy. On to the first of many geckos. And that is going to be dear old Pestilence. So what we're going to do is, because of the fact I need to get rid of a lot of these crickets, and a lot of these geckos need to start fattening up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cup holder. I'm going to drop them in there. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's go ahead and do one more tap. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I lied. Alright, that should be about 12 in there. Some may have escaped, but that's fine. Like I said, I need to start getting rid of these crickets. The reason being is there's a lot of dead ones in here, and I need to clear it out eventually so that when I order big cricket orders again, it's not just a bunch of dead crickets that are making the other crickets unhealthy. Because it is about time to be making massive, massive cricket orders again. And as you can see, Pestilence is already out. She's ready to eat. She never hesitates. Wow, look at that. Instead of eating her food, she's getting a drink. First up of the geckos that were in brumation, we have Gluttony. And he wasn't just the first gecko that we are going to shoot today. He was also the first of our new geckos from last year. He was a rescue that we took in because the owner his kids just weren't taking care of him. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be under here. Yep. And last year, he wouldn't really hunt crickets. He was so used to feeding on mealworms that were just provided to him that he wasn't that great at hunting. But with enough time, he became an excellent hunter, and this is going to be his first meal of the year. It's going to be his first meal in 2 months. I couldn't imagine going 2 months without food. His foot might have been stuck. Now, due to the guy's kids not taking care of him, Gluttony also doesn't have his claws on a lot of his toes. Leopard geckos do in fact have claws instead of the suction pads that other geckos have. But let's get on to the next one, shall we? We got plenty of time to watch these guys throughout the year. Now we're on to one of the two most important I almost said crickets. Geckos from last year. And the reason I say that is because this is the mama to all the babies. This is O.A.R, wherever she is at. She came out a second ago. I have no idea where she's currently at. Oh. Here she comes. O.A.R is a standard max snow, so that means she is mainly black and white. She's got a little bit of the yellow coming in at older age. But she's once again going to be our star breeder this year. She is a proven breeder and our only one. We got a new one to try this year, and we're going to get into lust here in a second. Oh, there goes O.A.R already earning her name. Now, a lot of these guys might have to refresh their skills. This is their first hunt of the year. Luckily for them, they still got about 2 months before I breed. Or they luckily got a few weeks until I attempt to breed them again. So I found out what's going on, right? She wants a cricket. But she wants that cricket, if you can see it right there. She's confused about which enclosure she's in. That's the one she's after. Look at her. Silly animals. Yeah. I may have finally figured it out. If you're having difficulties getting a ball python to eat rats, mice, anything of the above, we may have just figured it out, and we're going to test it with Pandora to make sure we did in fact do it. But it just worked with Midas, and I'm hoping it works with her too. So pythons have meat. Oh. Oh. So Python's like Midas here, who is currently chowing down on his first rat in 2 months, is eating away. And I think we figured out how to get him to do this. Now normally, if you do it like me, you have a bucket or a bowl, something, that you're just de-thawing a bunch of rodents all at once. You change the water in it about every hour. Well, by the time you're done with it, it may or may not be cold. You might not think about it. A lot of my reptiles will eat it if it is cold. Some of my reptiles apparently won't. My ball pythons are ones that apparently won't. So first I de-thawed all the rodents and everything like that. Then because I have 2 buckets, while the rabbit was still de-thawing, I filled up another bucket with hot water. Those rodents are all de-thawed. I don't need to wait for de-thawing process or the cold insides of those rodents to chill the water. So I put them in a hot bucket. And Midas instantly attacked that. So we're going to try with Pandora now. And if it works with Pandora, we may even have a trick for how to get your live-fed ball pythons to go to frozen thawed. This might not work for everyone because, well, I don't know why I'm putting emphasis on that. Ball pythons are some of the pickiest eaters when it comes to the reptile world. The only thing that gets really even worse than that is chameleons. I believe you have to have a dripping fixture in order for them to even drink, which I think they become the most pickiest when it comes to that out of all other animals. Anyways, we're going to try this with Pandora now, and I'm crossing my fingers hoping this works. Because if this works, it's going to be a lifesaver. It means we'll finally get her to eat, and next year when breeding season comes around, if we have that big old rack, it means I can definitely get her to put on a few pounds. But she's already poking her head out. She's about ready to eat. Let's just hope. Because I've said that a few times now. Let's hope this time she's actually prepared to eat. We got to put the flash on because she is on a ceramic heat emitter. Anyways, this rat is nice and warm. Boom! There we go. That is a beautiful sight to see. I was hoping the combination of being on substrate and warming up the rat would finally get her to eat. It has been about a month and a half, almost 2 months since she last ate. So I'm really glad to see her eating. And if she continues to eat like this, she will be an amazing girl. I'll be happy to gladly get some weight back on her. And it just fills me up with so much joy to see both my ball pythons eat for once. Usually I can get Midas to eat, but Midas is a little trickier. This is a joy. This is the second time I've ever gotten to see Pandora eat. Wow. Now that's the things us as ball python keepers live to see. Especially if you got it like we did with Pandora. Pandora had been living on live rodents for so long that the guy who had her before us had 80 rats to give away that were still alive, and we managed to get 2 of them. Now we're only got 1 of those because one of the ones we got was sick. But that just made my day. That was a great sight to see. Because now that means I don't have to do live rats. It means she'll eat what I provide her. And that's what I need. Live rats are very dangerous to reptiles. The reason being is because rats will fight back. And they will chomp down on your python if you're not careful. In fact, I have a friend of mine who, when we were younger, she had a red-tailed boa. She lost her red-tailed boa because of an infection that happened because the rat fought back. So that's the reason I don't do live feedings. I really don't like it. And if I am doing it, I am sitting there eyeing the animal down the entire time I'm doing it. It's not a safe process. It's not one I like to do. So it's what I try to avoid to do. So when I get an animal that I get live fed, I want to try and get that over to frozen thawed like I just did with Pandora. And it means, that's amazing progress to finally see her eat frozen thawed. I don't know if she finally starved herself into it or what, but I'll take it. I'll take it. He is. This is Famine. And he is the believed father of all the babies from last year. Now he's probably not going to eat too much here soon, or here for a little bit, because males during the breeding season tend to not eat whatsoever. Luckily, they're coming out of brumation, so he should be eating here soon to get ready to go see some females. And we got 2 for him this year. He's going to be he's going to be a happy boy. But for right now, he's just held up in his corner. Oh, there you go. You finally got one. You already got some good weight to her. That's good. Anyways, now to come to the big boy so that I can distract him long enough to get his light back in there. That's the key thing here. So because of the fact I want to get his lights, we're going to take on this side. Gonna let that side down, just so it's on the opposite end, and while he's all coiled up, I can get in behind him to plug his light fixture in. Now he is currently right over here. There he goes. Cause him to coil so I can get in there. So he is literally right there. And I gotta be very careful about this because it could turn around and me get bit by a Burmese python who's currently eating. But as you can see, he knocked down his cord, so I gotta hook that up and plug it back in as fast as I can without him noticing. We got it. He didn't even notice. Luckily I have plenty of experience dealing with that with Orion. Now if only I could do it with Lilith. Sadly, I'm by myself. I'm not going to do that. She'll just have to go without a light for a week. Now for Leif Erikson, I cheated. I ain't going to lie. I decided to do his puree mixture, is what I call it, because leopard geckos aren't true insectivores. But they're not quite... Oh, he's still got some live crickets in here anyways. They're not quite insectivores, and they're not quite omnivores. Because of the fact, well, this guy has a varying diet, but not too varying. He's not going to eat veggies. All he wants is some nice tropical fruits and some crickets. We're going to put him up here, right where his food is. His food and water is, just so we know he's got some. He's probably going to freak out for a little bit. I did just wake him up from a nap. But I want him to get some food in him, just so he's still nice and healthy. And that was a little bit of socialization, because it has been a couple of days. Now let's get on to the 2 babies we got left. We got one of the babies right here. And I got so many baby crickets that I'm not at all worried about how much I feed them. They are starting to get a little bit of weight to them finally, which is a good sign. There's the other one already ready to eat too. Now I do need to get rid of a lot of these baby crickets because, oh crap, Maybe not that many. Oh well. I do need to start getting rid of some of these baby crickets because of the fact, well, I don't have any other babies besides those two. My bad, I said let's get on to the two big boys, but that's because I forgot about these guys. My bad. I did, but I didn't, you know? Now let's get on to the two big boys who do not currently live in the reptile room. Well, last but not least, to feed is Cerberus. And luckily, I got to clean his enclosure. So, this works out beautifully if he goes along with the plan I have. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It feels... Sometimes he's willing to come out and chase it, other times he's not. Oh well. So I'm going to get him out. I'm going to feed him out here. Give me a second. So, I had to wait until after he decided to go back in his enclosure. Well, I helped him get back in his enclosure. I have to be very careful with Cerberus because of the fact he is injured on his back. And due to the fact of just how long that tail is, it will hurt me to the point he has drawn blood with just his tail before. As impressive as this boy is, I don't like injuries. So what I did was I kept him a total inch off the ground as I drug him from all the way back there, all the way back around. Just enough that he wouldn't lash out in anger or stress. I can't say anger because they don't feel anger as an emotion. But as you can see, he's gotten one meal in him and we've changed up some things. Let's zoom out if it'll let me. Yeah. So obviously he's got the new substrate like everyone else. He's on coconut coir. It's great for tegus because of the fact they need high humidity to help with sheds. They are a sort of tropical lizard, so high humidity is very good for them. And I've already wet everything down. He's got plenty to climb up on, yeah, at the same time being away from the basking light. I'm not too worried about him getting on the basking light because whenever he climbs in his enclosure, it's always on the glass or it's always up there. He never quite tries to get up here. If I ever noticed him getting up here, I would have changed this all up already. The closest he gets is trying to look out here whenever I have these vents open, whenever it's too humid in here. Now that he's got one of his rats, let's go give him the other, and then he's done. Come on, buddy boy. No? Right, we're just going to set that right down there. He'll either choose to eat it or not. If he doesn't, I'll come out. He probably won't. As you can see, his sides are very much flattened out, so he probably won't eat it, but we're going to leave it there just in case. Give him about 30 minutes to decide to eat it or not. Now Ryan I do pull out on some occasions just to inspect him because of the scale rot he had in October, I want to say, or November, but this is going to be his last attempted meal before I just say screw it, pull him out and inspect him again. And if he looks like he's healing, we're going to put him back in his actual enclosure. But Orion here has always been a shy eater. He never quite frankly goes for the meal right away. He'll probably bump it and call it quits, knowing him. Just like that. We're going to leave that in there. If he doesn't eat, probably go back to his home just to see if we can get him to eat. Because this boy refuses to eat. Look at him. He's so... Woo! Okay, maybe he does want to eat. Okay. I just set the camera down to toy it enough for him. But there he goes. He's finally eating again. Which is exactly what we wanted. Just, from now on, we're going to have to heat up his food first. or just keep it hot. We can't let it cool down at all. Because there he goes. Perfect. I think I can easily say that Cerberus is in fact enjoying the fact he now has a log to lay on that actually supports his weight. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to be it for this episode here at O.A.R. Stay happy, stay hungry, and follow your dreams. That'll be it. Adios.